right, let's check the feed real quick. Bear with me 1 second. Hold on.
Just popped up.
All right, we in there. Beautiful. All right, Shalom out there.
Shalom.
All right, we are the brothers of GMS Charlotte back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit. All right, this will be our, our midweek camp lesson here. We just came inside for the weather. Weather's been going back and forth, so we're going to edify on the StreamYard here today. So bear with me. I'm just wanted to pull this back up on my phone. I just want to make sure nothing is lagging. We good? Y'all brothers good to go, right? Y'all hear me pretty clear, right?
Come.
All right, beautiful, man. So anyway, with that, hey, Shalom out there. All right, just a GMS Charlotte midweek camp back at you live in effect. And before we get started, we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. A double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught us his truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. All right. This is another news and prophecy division. Cataclysmic events, their hegemony is in shambles. And we got a couple of videos here, articles, and all that good stuff, just to show you the state of the Edomite hegemony. All right, it's in shambles, the confusion, like the scriptures say, sorrows on every side. So pretty much Esau is losing his mind because they're actually witnessing the fall of their kingdom. All right, and this is all according to the spirit of prophecy, man. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai, as we've been witnessing, is plaguing this man's kingdom. All right, so it's falling apart from the inside out. As we always speak about all the time, division is on every level right now, and all these things tie into the demise of Babylon, man. All right, so that's why we said division, cataclysmic events, their hegemony is in shambles. Now I want to get this word real quick before we play the videos and articles here. All right. Let's see. Let's pull this up. Bear with me 1 second. All right. So this is the word cataclysm. Right. So it says a violent upheaval that causes great destruction or brings about a fundamental change. And that's heavy too, because through this chaos and destruction that's about to go down, this is going to cause for the change, for the transition. Is going to aid in the transition of the new system that's coming. All right, this NWO, this technocracy, this ultimately this beast system, right, which is speaking right now. It says any violent catastrophe involving sudden and extensive changes of the Earth's surface, a sudden violent event. All right. So this is what we're waiting on. Everybody understands and can feel it in the air that something is bound to happen that's going to change the course of America as we know it. All right. Somebody has something? Somebody's going to say something?
I was going to add just to that definition.
You got it.
The prefix, or the suffix rather, for the word cataclysm, it means to wash clean. So this is what we're seeing taking place is, everything being wiped away for the foundation of righteousness to be established.
That's right.
That's it. Everything's being wiped out. You got it. Go ahead, Salakia.
Salakia, I have something right quick, Zaquan. This is 2 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 28. You want to speak on it?
No, you got it.
This is 2 Ezra 4 and 28. But as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. Right? So we live in a wicked society, right, that we see is ripe for destruction. Okay, right. Contrary to the commands of the Lord.
Right.
That's right, bro.
Has been written for it, and what we're in the process of seeing it is the judgment being played out. So the Lord is setting the stage for this shit to be taken down.
Yep.
Facts.
Verse 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, And if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. Right? So as Quan had went into the definition of cataclysm, right? And the brother Quan just went into the suffix, right? This is an inevitable change that has to occur. All right. In order for the kingdom to come, right, this place has to fall away. All right. This kingdom has to be destroyed.
That's it. I got this word too, hegemony. The definition says the predominance of one state or social group over others. It says leadership, a preponderant influence or authority usually applied to the relation of a government or state to its neighbors and confederates. All right. Jumping down to definition 4, it says dominance of one social group over another. It says such that the ruling group or hegemon acquires some degree of a degree of consent from the subordinate, as opposed to dominance purely by force. And you see the leadership, as we're reading here under this word hegemony, the leadership, the powers that be, all right, their whole power structure is in disorder. All right, it's in shambles right now, man. All right, this is why you have the pull from the left and the right side, the Democrats and the Republican. All of this shit is going to lead to ultimately death, destruction out here in the streets. And this is what we're going to get into, man, because, hey, the Lord told us in Baruch, let me get that real fast. Just popped in my mind. Baruch 4, I'll read it real fast before we get into the video. But it says, this is Baruch chapter 4 and verse, I'll start at 24. 25 is the point. Baruch chapter 4, verse 24. It says, like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our power, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. Verse 25. My children, Baruch 4 and 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High. For thy enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shall tread upon his neck. All right. So right now, we're witnessing his destruction, man. We're seeing the Lord overthrow this man's power, his kingdom, this system. Right. So let's get into it. All right. So this is from Glenn Beck. This came out almost an hour ago. It says Democrat admits they will overturn the election if Trump wins. So listen to this. All right. These devils are stressed the hell out.
I want to play something that I hope, it is my honest prayer that every day I can reach somebody, and they don't even have to agree with me in the end, but reach somebody that hasn't done their homework, who has just listened to the media and has bought into all of this stuff, but they're starting to go, something doesn't seem right. Every day, I just hope that one person in this audience wakes up, because it's not just about the country. It's honestly about our souls. We are so easily led astray on this. Now, I want to play something from Jamie Raskin. Now, Jamie Raskin is the guy who was in charge of the impeachment of Donald Trump. He is, in my opinion, he's not the best of guys. But I just want you to hear what he was saying. Now, this is a couple of months ago in a conversation at a bookstore in Washington, D.C. The book is Politics and Prose. And here's Jamie Raskin talking to the public.
Salaki, I don't know why it's lagging. Bear with me 1 second. Let me take the quality down. All right, bear with me 1 second. All right, let's go back to
it. On what is coming if Donald Trump is elected. Now listen to this. Cut 4.
Zaxby's new chicken.
Salaki, let that pass.
Last night, I was most worried about the Supreme Court's prospective imminent abdication of its very clear duty to disqualify Donald Trump from the ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, and what that might mean if their decision says that it's really up to Congress on January 5th or January 6th, 2025, to disqualify him at the counting of the Electoral College votes, which really could lead to something akin to civil war, if that's what the suggestion is, which is what I think I heard when I went to the oral argument, that they themselves were unwilling to rule whether or not the Colorado Supreme Court was correct in finding that he had engaged in insurrection on January 6, 2021. So, but that was just last night's story. So
I want you to understand what he was saying. The 14th Amendment, Section 3, was written about the Civil War. And it was, if you were Jefferson Davis, who was a congressman or a senator, I can't remember, and he was the head of the Confederacy, because he was the president of the Confederacy, he engaged in insurrection. And so he could not then become president of the United States. Anyone who was engaged in insurrection could not be president of the United States. Well, that was very, very clear back then who was part of the insurrection and who was not part of the insurrection. It was a civil war. Donald Trump has never been, he's been accused of all kinds of stuff, and he's been accused of engaging in an insurrection, but he has never been charged with that. Out of all of the charges that they have laid against this guy, they've never charged him with insurrection, okay? Which means, because he's never been charged, he's never stood trial. He didn't get a chance to make the case. No, that wasn't insurrection. I wasn't involved in an insurrection. So he hasn't been charged, he hasn't been tried, nor has he been convicted of that. But Raskin just believes that he was involved in an insurrection and doesn't even think they need to make the legal case. He thinks the Supreme Court just should have said, no, it was insurrection. Okay. So what he's saying here is, if he is elected, we're going to charge him with insurrection under the 14th Amendment, Section 3, and disqualify him before he is officially sworn in as president of the United States. So they will overturn the vote. He is so serious about this. Now, remember, this is the way these people have been working. They just say it, and because they have the media, it just becomes that. Okay.
And what do you think is going to happen if they disqualify him after he, right before he's sworn in the presidency, man? This shit gonna pop. This is what we're saying. So go ahead, Salaki. Go ahead.
I say they asking for civil war.
Mm-hmm. And you see the intensity on this guy, man. A lot of Edomites feel like this, man. Like you can see the rallying behind Trump. Like, look, if they try to, get him for any type of bogus charges, we taking matters in our own hands. Fuck that, They ready to bring out the guns blazing, So these Edomites, they're full throttle when it comes to Trump and saving America, making America great again, all that whole dialogue. They're ready to die for this shit, right? So this is what we telling you believers out there, man. Just sit back and watch this thing, man. Look how the Lord is working, right? Because
that January 6th thing that happened a couple of years ago, that was a preview on what these Edomites are ready to go do.
Right.
If man Trump don't get in, because they look at the Democrats as the problem of why the country is failing, which to a degree they're right, but at the same time, it's by design, man. Okay,
sure.
These elites are purposely causing this division amongst the country to destroy itself. I got a quick precept.
Yep.
This is Matthew 12:26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And this is how we know that America is through, because none of these Edomites are on the same accord, all the way from the top, the elites, down to your average Edomite. They're all divided. So this is how we know that America is being destroyed from the inside out.
That's it. Yep. Hey, get real quick. Get Deuteronomy 30 and 7. All right. About the curses falling upon our enemies.
Yep. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Mm-hmm. So now we see the curses falling upon the heads of our enemies, man. And part of those curses is what? The political turmoil, division, all right, the lack of trust from the people and the government. You see what I'm saying? The corruption that's being exposed, right? Because the lesson I did the other day, it was some Secret Service guy that it was on the Fox News thing. Some guy from the Secret Service was revealing and exposing how there's corruption all throughout the CIA, the FBI, all that shit, man. So it's pretty much a done deal, right? So let's finish it out, right?
Donald Trump was in cahoots with the Russians to overturn the election in 16. None of that is true. Donald Trump had a bank account that was being pinged by the Russians. None of that was true. But it suddenly became true. The same thing with Hunter Biden. His laptop isn't real. That was true for a long time for a lot of people, even though the government and people like Jamie Raskin knew it wasn't true. Take Biden. He's not senile. They met with him. They knew he was fading, but they needed him to be the guy until he proved in a debate he couldn't be the guy. He loses the debate, and all of a sudden he is senile, and he has to go right now because why? He can't handle being president. Then why didn't you invoke the 25th Amendment? Why didn't you do it the right way? Why did you have a coup? But it wasn't a coup. It was a democratic process. No, it wasn't. Not constitutional. He resigned, sure, but how did that come about? That was a coup. Then they just replaced. Now remember, Harris was, she was incompetent. She was a joke. Everybody in the media knew that. Everybody said that. And in fact, the stories were just a week before. She can't keep her staff. She is so hated. She's a monster in the office. And a week later, after hearing that for 3 years, a week later, the new reality is that it's Camelot, like Camelot, that she's going to bring back the JFK years because she's so beloved and so smart and so unifying. So when they say things, they just expect everyone to believe it. And the sad thing is about 30% of the population believes it. Inflation is transitory. It's not real. It is real. And now it is real, but it was Donald Trump's fault somehow or another. Now,
I'm going to say this real quick. Give me Lamentations 4 and 17. Right? You know, because it's really it's you niggas that's falling for it. You know, a lot of you jakes is caught up in the in this, you know, this political debate, this back and forth. You know, who's gonna save the country? Who's really fit for, you know, who's really fit for the so-called black vote? All of that bullshit, man. You know, you got it, brother.
This is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. And our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Right. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump ain't gonna save none of you niggas, man. All right. And that's just a hard pill that Jake refuses to swallow at the end of the day. Right. You haven't learned since, like I said before, you ain't learned since Bush Jr. was in office. We talking about before Obama ass got in office, man. You ain't learned yet. Ain't shit changed. Your plight has not changed here in Babylon. It's gotten worse. Right? Your life still doesn't matter. You still don't count as a person. All right? What you're going through doesn't matter. Nobody cares, you see? And it's not going to change. Right? Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai is the only one that's going to liberate us from these curses here in America and all over the world, man.
That's right.
You know? So you trust for a nation that can't save you, man. And that's why we always go into that Isaiah 30, man, that trust in Pharaoh and this man's system is going to lead to your shame and confusion. You're going to see it, right? You got some out?
Yeah, I'm going to read this in the commentary.
You got it.
The David Guzik commentary for Lamentations 4 and 17. It reads, Judah's false prophets and political leaders put their trust in Egypt to rescue them from the Babylonians. They watched vainly for help. Now we are taken back to memories of the fall of the city. There was a vain and persistent hope that the Egyptians would come to the rescue.
Wow.
So this is what we're seeing right now: is people hoping in a system, in a society that ultimately was set up, for the to disenfranchise you, man. Right?
Yep.
It was set up for you to be destroyed. So there's nothing you can hope in this system because you were going to lose on this side in the first place, man.
Shit.
System was rigged.
Exactly.
off the rip.
That was it.
I had something to add to the Cornwall. This is Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trusteth in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. Because like the brother said, man, this is a sinking ship, man. All right. And so Jake, that's still continuing, all right, to put his hope and dream in this place, to think that he's going to get ahead, to be able to, obtain some generational wealth type dream here, is all in vain, because this place was designed to falter on itself, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The elites literally designed America, all right, to pretty much implode on themselves to be the catalyst to bring in the new world order, man.
Shit.
So everybody is beginning to realize that, except for Jake, man.
Shit.
Oh, the consequences of this is significant. And Jamie Raskin knows it. Listen to cut 5.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist.
Stop. They're disappearing this as if it's a magic wand. How is the right making something in the Constitution disappear? We're not disappearing it. We're saying charge him, try him. We don't, because you cannot win that case. You don't have any evidence of that case. It was easy under Jefferson Davis. And believe me, if Donald Trump was trying to overthrow the country and the Constitution, I would be standing with Jamie Raskin, not near him. I don't know. I don't want to catch whatever it is he's got, insanity, but I would not stand for any president, either side, trying to overthrow the Constitution of the United States. And I don't think you would either. But they haven't made that case. They just accuse. So
Salaki is dragging. Hold on. We're almost there. We'll finish it out.
what happens, he says, we're making that just disappear. So you got to fight for the Constitution. And here's what he says is going to happen.
Disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025 to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. Listen to what they're saying. On one hand, because 9 people made the choice that it is not a federal issue on abortion, they haven't done their job and they're out of control. And what the Supreme Court was saying is it has to be up to the people and the states, not the court, not 9 people making that decision. They do the same thing on what does the 14th Amendment mean? Well, you got to kind of charge the guy. But, this is all about Congress. So Congress has to make it. They don't want that responsibility. They want the 9 guys in the robes to blame. And so they mock and say the Supreme Court is lazy. And they don't have much to do. And they just don't want to do this. And so we're going to have bodyguards and civil war conditions. And I hate to say it, but Jamie Raskin is right. If they do that, it will be a civil war. You cannot unseat. I mean, look at what they're saying.
we're going to do exactly what we've accused Donald Trump of doing on January 6th, overthrowing the system. And somehow or another, they'll be heroes this time.
There you go.
America, you have a serious, serious choice. And some deep thinking is required now.
There you go. Salakia was a little grainy there, but you heard it. So what we see here, and we'll get into some more of these clips here, but you see the confusion, the division all down the line. This man's power structure is in complete shambles, man. These Edomites are totally through. All right. Can I get real quick Isaiah 47 and verse 1?
Right here. It's Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Mm-hmm. Break it down for me, Op.
I got you. I'll start back over. Isaiah 47 and 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, because the Most High is casting, all the people of Babylon into a state of confusion, because nobody is pretty much understanding what's going on and why this country is headed towards the way it's going. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender, delicate, because for the longest of times, America would look at that as that beacon of light, to where all countries would want to come over here and chase the American dream. And what's being found out is that this place is pretty much through. All right, America is becoming a third world country. All right, it's pretty much being flooded by all these different immigrants. All right, we see the infrastructure pretty much being destroyed from the inside out. So America is no longer looked at as that beacon of light anymore, man. It says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So what we're witnessing, for those that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, that America is pretty much removing, all right, that beacon of light symbol from America, to where everybody is starting to see that this bitch is pretty much the problem in the earth, man. All right, all the wickedness that the world has been pretty much seeing, Babylon has been the proprietor of that, man. All right. And through Western philosophy, democracy, that has become the poison of the world, which all these other countries are witnessing that, which is why they're beginning to withdraw themselves from Babylon, man.
That's it. Hey, like the scripture said, first verse, come down, sit in the dust. All right. That dust represents confusion. All right. This place is being brought very, very low. Mm-hmm. All right. Esau you can see the stress on Glenn Beck, man. Mm-hmm. These people really believe, as we're going to tap into. Let me pull this back up a little later, Lord willing. But they really believe in Trump. Trump is going to save Israel. Trump is going to save America. This place is through. America and Israel is pretty much on the brink of destruction, man. All right. The articles that's been coming out is what Israel is being surrounded by these Arabic nations, which they call the revolutionary. I mean, not the revolutionary. It's called the something axis. Start with an R. It was a revolutionary axis, something like that. But these Arabic nations are aligning themselves together to come against Amalek. Mm-hmm. Right? There ain't nothing Trump can do. There's nothing Kamala could do. You niggas are caught in the delusion. All right. Matter of fact, that's the spirit. Just adding on to some more information here. But I wanted to tap into this. Tazwan, you can speak on it as well, bro. All right. But this all ties into the division, this place being thrown down. It's a wrap, man. You got it, brother,
Are you sharing the article?
Yeah, the one with the American Dream.
It's not pulling up, it's still spinning.
Word is not pulling up. Hold on one second. Let me see. Bear with me 1 second out.
It's Satan.
Can you see it now?
Well, the StreamYard just crashed on the laptop.
All right, hold on. It's doing the same thing over here. Let me see if it'll pull back up.
Zaquan, while trying to pull that up, could I get a quick preset?
You got it, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy viols. Okay, speaking of the pride of America, right? That American pride is being brought down to the point where these people are starting to realize, as Priest was speaking on, the inner workings of the system. All right,
Right.
the system is being exposed, right, on a level that has pretty much disenchanted a lot of people to the quote unquote glory that it once held, right? The high regard that it once held in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Goes on to say, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, right? Speaking about the corrosion of the country, right? We think about the civil infrastructure of this country, right? When you look up the parallels between ancient Rome, right, and America, that was one of the things that was the similarities between the fall of that society, right? Was that corrosion of the country,
Yeah.
you know? And
Yeah.
that's the direction that this place is headed in, you know, full destruction.
Yeah. The devalue of the currency, hyperinflation, the Roman army spreading their military too thin.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are happening to Babylon now. You know.
Con.
I got that article on the screen too. You got it, bro. Salakia.
Yeah, Salaki, I had a real quick article just to back up what I was talking about with the parallels dealing with Rome. Because when you look up, this is from the historychannel.com, 8 reasons why Rome fell, and you can do the parallels to see America's going in that same route. So it says invasion by barbarian tribes. It says
Which we see happening right now on the northern and the southern border, right? The mass immigration.
Yep.
Is a bigger problem than people are making it seem to be.
Oh, yeah. It says economic troubles and over-reliance on slave labor. The rise of the Eastern Empire. Over-expansion and military overspending. Government corruption and political instability. We just talked about.
That's everything we saw in the video.
It says the arrival of the Huns and the migration of the barbarian tribes, and it says Christianity and the loss of traditional values, which we talk about this all the time, man. All right, the moral decadence of America, because as we see all these pressing issues that's going on in society, and what is the main thing that the government is making bills over and fighting over is transformer rights, gay rights, things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's actually pushing forth the destruction of society.
Yes.
And then the last one, it says weakening of the Roman legions. So when you start doing the parallels, like it says in Ecclesiastes, the first chapter, all right, which is now, there's no new thing under the sun, all right, because as we know, America is Rome reincarnated and it's going out the same way Rome went out the first time, man. That's right. You got it.
Yep. This is the article that was referenced. This is posted August 5th, 2024 from Yahoo Finance. Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, says that the American dream is disappearing and half the public no longer believe in it. Now, when you look into this guy, Jamie Dimon, he pretty much always has a bleak outlook on this current system, right? He's always speaking outward against the problems that exist in this system. But we have to understand is these devils, they create these problems for a reason, right? Yeah. They create the problems for a reaction so that they can bring about the solution, Could a brother right quick grab Isaiah 10:1 right fast?
Yeah, because this dude, he's an insider, man. He's been given the scoop to pretty much, have the vision of what's coming. So as brother's about to go into, this guy is giving you the forecast of the future.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right. Again, these people, these devils, they prescribe these issues, right? They are the ones that are creating these very problems so that they have their reasons, and it seems to be within reason to bring about the unrighteous decrees that they push out to the masses. All right. As we're seeing the perfect catalyst is being made, the perfect storm is here. Okay. Right. Going back to the Prime Minister of the UK, Charles, I think his name was Charles Windolph. My brother can look it up right quick. He said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste."
Right.
Okay, and we have that perfect crisis.
So, anything else? Anything else you want to bring out of there?
Yes, a little bit. It's a little bit more.
You
I'll jump straight to the point. He says the Wall Street veteran who earned a record $36 million for his work in 2023 has withheld endorsement of either Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump. Instead, in an opinion piece from the Washington Post, the 68-year-old laid out what he believes the policies of the next administration should be. The self-proclaimed full-throttled, red-blooded, patriotic, unwoke capitalist CEO said he wanted to see the next president focus on smarter policies that provide protection, progress, and prosperity to all. Okay? Now, reading through the lines, and extrapolating this through the spirit, this is pretty much saying that, look, the old system is done.
Yes.
Okay? The old system was inadequate, right? We need to, bottleneck the masses of all the people into a new world order, okay? Mm-hmm. And what's going to be tied to that infrastructure is that implantable device that John the Revelator, the Apostle John the Revelator saw on the Isle of Patmos that you read of in Revelations 13. If I could grab that right quick.
You got it.
This is Revelations chapter 13. Could a brother grab Causeth in the blue letter? Revelations chapter 13 and verse 16. I started at verse. Matter of fact, I started at 15.
Yep.
Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. Now we understand that beast, all right, that's spoken of is the power structure of this Edomite hegemony. America, Babylon the Great, NATO, and the EU. All right. And the image of the beast that is speaking is the system of the ancient Roman Empire. Okay. Yep. And they're pretty much putting all of the people in a position to where you have to submit to this system. You have to submit to this new way of life, because everything that's a part of this existing system is being brought to the ground.
Right.
Yeah, it's a modern form of slavery. All right, because just like the Roman Empire did, what did they do? They branded their slaves. Right. So now the modern day type of branding that's happening through this technocracy is going to be through the MOTB, the CHIP.
Because if I could add to that, because what the system that we're seeing going into play, all right, you people out here are still under the illusion of freedom, to where you believe the American dream is still alive. So this is why you still got a lot of people immersed in the whole situation with the whole voting thing and trying to make America, great and keep it going. But you don't realize that the elites, they're past this now. All right, they're ready to go into the new system, which when you look it up, it's really going into a form of feudalism, man. Right. All right, where it's no longer going to be what they call a chance for upward mobility, man. It's time for the rich to stay rich and the poor to stay poor, man. All right, and the elites are going to have control over all. That's why the Great Reset's motto is "You will own nothing and love it, man."
Yep.
I'll get this real quick. It's Sirach 34 and verse 5. It reads, "Divinations and soothsayings." It's Sirach 34 and 1. "The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools."
Right, because that's exactly what the American dream has made you people, fools, man.
Man, that's
right. Because as we get the understanding on how the Lord has set this thing up, all right, America was never in the plans long term. Okay, so all those that still have their hope and dreams in this place, you're a fool, man.
I said, it was all a dream.
He told you.
Exactly. Verse 2. "Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind."
Right, because the American dream is just that. It's a dream. It was never really attainable. Because when you look up what they say the American dream is, real quick, this is off Wikipedia, it says the American dream is the national ethos of the United States, that every person has the freedom and opportunity to succeed and attain a better life. Now, that definition in itself is a lie. Because number one, Jake, that opportunity was never afforded to you. Okay, Esau has done everything in his power to make it to where you Jakes will never have equal footing with Esau in his society. All
yes.
Right? It says the phrase was popularized by James Truslow Adams during the Great Depression in 1931, and has many different meanings over time. Originally, the emphasis was on democracy, liberty, and equality, but more recently, it has been on achieving material wealth and upward mobility. And this is why you're seeing in today's climate, the focus, as it says, has been more on achieving material wealth and upward mobility, because, with the access to, the digital currency, all right, the many opportunities that have been created for you people out here to boost yourselves up in society, that lets you know that Esau Edom is done with this place, man. Because it was never meant to be like that in the first place, man. It was always a system to make the rich richer and the poor poor, man. So the fact that Esau has allowed you people out here, all right, especially Jake, all right, to get rich, to become millionaires and all that, that shows you that they no longer care about how the system was gonna go, as well as the money is through. Because Esau was never gonna allow you Jakes to pretty much, stand, shoulder to shoulder with them, man.
Right.
Yeah. Quick. Hey, you got Jake talking about generational wealth and how to properly invest and take hold of these stocks, put your money in this CD and this IUL and all of that, So because even like you said, the parallels, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when the Roman Empire fell, Jake was beginning to, obtain all of those prominent positions and things like that too,
Yeah, because like the apostle going to, you had Jake overtaking a lot of the Edomites, in the Senate, in those heavy positions in the government. All right, just like in today's time, you see Jake brokerage and power, like it's on a small scale, but you give an example like LeBron James, how he's able to pretty much have control over a franchise to the point where he's allowed to play with his son. Right. That shows you the influence that Jake has been able to take, control of in this society compared to how it was back in the Roman Empire.
Right.
So that has given them the illusion to think like, look, I have the opportunity to really make something of myself and my family here when you're still a slave. Tazwan brings out that term neo-slavery. A slave doesn't have the true freedom, But like I said, it's the illusion of freedom because of that paper money, which if you've been paying attention to the economy, all right, that dollar is being devalued more and more, which is why it's easier for these people to become millionaires in today's time. The fact that you can become a fucking social media influencer and become a millionaire shows you that this shit is worthless now.
Exactly.
Right. You got it.
The definition in the Edamon online for the word dream, it says it comes from the Proto-Germanic dragmus, which means deception, illusion. It says from the German Trugen, which means to deceive, to delude, or to seek to harm.
See, and that's what Esau has done. He has put you to sleep and given you the illusion to think that you have an opportunity to be something. And so when you Jakes come to the realization of you ain't shit without the Lord, this is why Esau is pretty much fast forwarding his New World Order agenda, because he's seeing more and more people are waking up out of that spell, man.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So back in Sirach 34 and verse 3, the vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face.
Mm-hmm.
Of an unclean thing, what can be cleansed? And from that thing which is false, what truth can come?
Right, and that's what the American dream is. It's a falsehood, man. All right, there's no truth that can pretty much be said about this place continuing to be forwarded, because all signs point to this place being destroyed, man.
That's right.
Verse 5, divinations and soothsayings and dreams are vain, and the heart fancieth as a woman's heart in travail. If they be not sent from the Most High in thy visitation, set not thy heart upon them.
Right, and this is why you, Jake, shouldn't be listening to these guys out here giving you this lie, saying how America is still doing well. The promises of a better outlook for this country. Kamala and Trump giving you all empty promises. That's all bullshit, man. Because according to the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, this is it.
That's it.
That's it. It's a wrap.
Verse 7, for dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them.
And that's what strength and shame of Pharaoh.
Man.
All you that trust in Babylon the Great, man, that's like I read earlier in Isaiah 36:6, man. You trusting in that broken reed, man, it's going to pierce you when this place is pretty much, shown to be what it really is, man. All right, when they crash this economy, they, implement martial law, all hell breaks loose. You're going to see that you trusted in a vain vision, man. You got to talk about
Yep.
God. Jumping back to Revelations 13 and 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Now, could you pull up that word for Causeth?
It's the word Causeth in the Strong's G 4160 poieo. It reads in definition G, to constitute or appoint one anything, to appoint or ordain one that.
Right. So this devil is going to put these things on the books, man.
Yep.
Right? He's already creating the catalyst for these things to be inaugurated into the masses of the people's worlds.
Yeah, because when Biden, he pretty much signed that bill, to pretty much make the CBDC the new form of currency.
Right.
Jake forgot about that.
Right. The CHIP Act.
The CHIP Act, yeah, they forgot about that because it wasn't a dramatic change that happened right then and there. And that's normally how the Esau gets you. They'll put the shit in motion, and then because it doesn't do a dramatic change right then and there, they forget about it. But everything is pointing to that because the dollar is being devalued day by day. And then with that whole power move that Saudi Arabia did by not renewing the petrodollar bill, we're one event away from this current money system going and that MOTB system being established, man.
That's it.
That's right. Even we keep seeing these cyber attacks. You got the with the Wall Street collapse yesterday. All these of them, they're like test rooms, right? They're seeing where the holes they need to plug at and what holes they need to let overflow, right? So now they're going to allow the people to fail as a result. But after running these tests, they can see what they need to stop up to save themselves.
Right, and they're seeing how easy it is going to be for a lot of these people to go and run and get that chip, man. Because like another example of what the cyber attack did, you had the EBT, system go down, and people were bugging out, man. So what Tyler was talking about with the MOTB, man, Esau is pretty much bottlenecking you people to be conditioned. So when it's ready to run, this system is ready to go, y'all gonna run right into it.
Right. Right quick, could you grab Revelations 3 and 10 in the NLT? Because like Priest Amuan had made mention of, these people are going to just run down to take this, man. Okay, because this is a part of their world.
Mm-hmm.
They can't see past this world. They don't see the consequences associated to taking this implantable device. Right. All they see is it as just the next stepping stage in this world. Right? Could you get that?
Okay. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10. In the NLT, it reads, "Because you have obeyed my command to persevere, I will protect you from the great time of testing."
The great time of testing, which is that hour of temptation, which is the time where the MOTB is made mandatory, man.
Right.
I will protect you from that great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world.
Right, to test those who belong to this world. Okay? And we understand those that belong to this world are going to get cut off and die on this side, man. All right, so just feeding off of the point that Priest Amuan had made, right, we see that when this time comes about where this technology is enforced and this is the way for people to buy and sell, a lot of people are going to run down and take that device, man. But to you believers out there, to you brothers and sisters, we put these epistles out so that you have the understanding and foresight to see these evils coming, man. Because it's fastly approaching. Finishing out verse 17, Revelations 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. So for you to be able to exist within the system, you have to be able to take that mark, which is that implantable device that goes under the skin, man. Okay, that's the only way that you will have the ability to buy and sell in the markets.
Which, when you go into that, that's going to be the initiation into the new world order. I forgot the guy that made that quote, but you're going to have to take that Luciferian oath, which is that charagma to be able to participate in that system. Because as you read earlier, I believe that's verse 15, about them that don't take it, how they're going to be killed. You're going to be cut off from society, so you're going to be pretty much ousted, to where you're not going to be able to operate in that new system, man.
Yeah,
And
that's why we. Oh, Salaki.
Go ahead, Salaki.
No, I said that's why we see the new system rolling in. After you finish what you got highlighted here, I want to add, some more in Itazawam,
Con. Oh no, that's pretty much the point in this article, Zaquan.
Okay, Kyle, I thought you had some more to read. All right. So I'll take it back. Right. So just going back here. So just adding on to more about, we just discussed about the American dream is dead, and talking about the economy, the state of this system. Is here it says it's from Natural News. It says stock markets plunge around the world as fears over weak U.S. economy spark financial panic. You see that? And that's the thing. We all know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai that eventually this system is going to crash and burn. All right. All your trust, all your hope, your trust in the money and all of that is done for. All right. And I'll read. And if you want to chime in, feel free. I'm just going to read briefly. We're not going to read the whole thing. But it says stock markets dropped around the world as worried investors react to the weakening U.S. economy with the global sell-off. All right. It says Europe's main stock indices dropped on Friday, with tech stocks in Europe hitting their lowest level in more than half a year. Germany's DAX lost 2%, while France CAC 40 fell 1%, and London's FTSE dropped 1.5%. It says the Japanese benchmark Nikkei 225 saw the second biggest drop in its history, falling at 5.8% overnight, while NASDAQ index dropped 3.2% and has now lost upwards of 10% since hitting a record high on July 11th, right? It says, let's jumping down. It says a recession could be right around the corner. In actuality, is going to be a crash. All right. And the rest reason follows. The point is that they have to get rid of the old system to bring in the new. All right. Go ahead. You got anything you want to add in there real quick?
Okan, I was going to add everything that, you had just read over. Like you said, this is associated to that crash. These problems that they're creating, because as you see what's happening in America, we've had a continual interest rate, right? The interest rate has been continuously going upward, right? But now there's talks of the interest rates possibly being lowered, right? Or just keeping the interest rates where they are. Right. If you keep the interest rates where they are, it's going to lead to more chaos. Yep. It's going to lead to more economic stability because people are pretty much at the point where they're choked out, right? And then there's also the economy. The U.S. economy is slowing down based upon people not having the access to, utilize their resources to spend as they freely do, right? With the consumer price index reflecting that.
I had a quick one. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened. It's like verse 3 is my point. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the window be darkened, and the doors, bro.
Okay. We start from the top.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble.
Right. Who are the keepers of the house? The economists, man. Okay. Keep reading.
And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Mm-hmm. And those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Right. The sound of the grinding is low. Work is low, man. All right. The job reports, the job index that's coming back, it's not reflecting accurately to what the Biden administration has said that they're putting back jobs into the economy. Right. Keep reading. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right. So pretty much, it's a fearful scope
of this economy, man. All right. The landscape of how things are going at this point in time is pointing toward a crash. Okay. As Aquan has said, it's not going to be a recession. It's going to be a depression. It's going to be a total crash, man. All right. But the system is pretty much playing on these people with what? The bread and circus, to where they're too caught up in whatever folly that they're consumed in to actually take heed to what's really happening. The things that are important, man.
That's it. Everything, hey, all roads lead to the MOTB, man. That's why Elder Apostle Tahar, he did a recent video saying that, brothers, you know, when you do videos concerning the MOTB, you know, speaking code. You see? Because hey, they're making legislation where you can't talk about the current financial system that they're putting in place, which is going to be this beast system, man. This digital currency here. So they're already, Esau's already, you know, setting the he's setting his footing up, you know, to come against anybody that's speaking out about, because people know, you know, once you submit to this thing, so to speak, now Esau has total control over your finance, your health, your life in general. He becomes, you know, God over you via this system, you know. So go ahead. You appreciate something, Salakia?
Yeah, I say because that's wicked, because now he has the power to pretty much kill you. You know, if he deems you as a problem to the system, man. Right. All right, real quick. This is shit. Where you go? Salakia, wrong chapter. Because at the end of the day, man, this man, you know, is becoming he's becoming a lord over the people, because he wants to become God on earth, man. All right. So real quick, this is back in Sirach 34. I'm gonna jump down to verse 21. It says, "The bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood." Because the Most High created this world, all right, and to have abundance for mankind to live. All right, but under this rule of Esau, man, he has hoarded everything unto himself and pretty much left crumbs for the rest of the people to defend for themselves with. So with this new system that he's bringing into play, he's going to literally have control over everything. And if you want to have anything of substance, you have to come to him. And in order for you to come to him, he's going to implant you with that implantable device and make you a perpetual slave forever. All right. Yeah. Verse 22. "He that taketh away his neighbor's living, slave him, and he that defraudeth the labor of his hire is a blusher," which lets us know, man, this has to be talking about Esau, man. All right. He is the man of blood, man. All right. Yeah. This man, his whole existence is meant to pretty much, you know, put you in a bind, man. All right. This man's the devil at the end of the day, man. You know.
Yeah. He's prepared to put the world in a digital oppression.
Exactly.
And like you may mention earlier, this is what Apostle John the Revelator saw. He saw this system coming into play. He saw the MOTB, man. He saw those things. He probably saw the AI, you know. He saw this technology that you see today, man.
Yeah. And they show you that in these movies such as End Time with Justin Timberlake, I, Robot, you know, and movies, you know, such as that, Demolition Man. This is the design that he wants the world to go under, man. This is why Klaus Schwab made that statement dealing with China as that being the model of society that they want the world to be under.
Yeah.
China is always the city that they test run things like that for. All right, because the people, all right, in China pretty much, well, the infrastructure of China is similar to America. So they test everything over there and see how the people are compliant, and that lets them know, okay, we can bring this over here, man.
Yeah, we're in the future, you know. The future, as they say, the future is now. We're in those times, man. Because hey, like you made, not to rant, but like you said, a lot of those movies that you named, you know, the events that were going on in those movies was around these times, 2024, 2025, 2030, shit like that. You know, all those movies talked about what we're living in right now.
Kind. If I can add one more point to what you said, because what's the basis theme around those movies? People were over reliant on the technology. You know, the technocracy, that was the mainstay of how that society was being ran. And then it had the higher ups, the elites, that was the ones that was living in pleasure while the rest of the world was living in fucking slavery, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like that movie Elysium.
Con. Right. So moving on from here, so you get that, man. We just hitting all these points just to show you the division and the cataclysmic events and proving and showing that this man's power, his hegemony is in complete shambles, right? Here's another point. As some of you brothers and sisters out there heard about what's going on in the UK is getting real, shit is shaking out there, man. It says UK riots latest, thousands of counter protesters outnumber far right demonstrators as they flood the streets in Bristol, Brighton, Liverpool, and London on night when more than 100 protests were expected to take place. So there's videos on the internet of just fights and chaos in the streets, and all these things that we see are eventually going to come here, right? These are the uproars of the people. Matter of fact, Ak, if you can get Second Ezra 9 real quick, and we'll play this.
I got you. I'm right here. This is Second Ezra 9. Start at the top.
Yeah, start at the top by Shah.
Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made."
Right. So when the Lord said, when you begin to see all of these signs, this determines that the Lord is beginning to visit the world which he made. Go ahead.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world,
Yep.
then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
Yeah. So when you see the earthquakes and the uproars of the people, man, right? We've seen shit pop off in the UK. We've seen shit pop off in Germany and France, right? Over the years, man. Right. These are all the signs, because pretty much people are aware that all of these presidents, prime ministers, and politicians are puppets for the elite, man. All right. People that come to that realization. This is why people are protesting. This is why people are lashing out. Right. They're tired of the oppression. They're tired of the lies, man, the broken promises and shit like that, man. People are really ready to take these matters into their own hands. This is why these things are happening. Right. You have we're in a time of great exposure, shameful spewing, man. People know that these damn gutter rats, these 48ers, pretty much run the show, right? That they've hoard all the resources and riches unto themselves, right? They're planning on, here it is, the Lord told us to be fruitful and multiply, but these devils tell you that the world is overpopulated and we need to depopulate the planet. Right. Shit like that, So people are becoming highly aware of these things, man. This is why we're at the beginning of him being chased out of the world. You got it.
Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
And the end is manifest. This is what we're trying to tell you. The end of this man's empire, his hegemony, has manifest. All right, he's in shambles. He's in confusion. All right, he's in turmoil, perplexity. All right, he's losing control. You see, so this is why they got to hurry up and implement the system. They got to crash the economy. They got to bring this new wave of the new disease, right? Because that's came out, this whole bird flu shit and a new round of the 19. You know what we're talking about? It's going to be another. It's going to be another demic. Whatever they're going to do to bring the complete shutdown of Babylon and really the world. You see? So from there, I want to grab this just to add into there too. All right, let's play this real fast. Just tying it to the UK riots. right, so obviously, as you see, it's going down, but I want to read this headline. So this is from the sun.co.uk. It says, Brandon Cox, it says, we must hold social media Wild West to account, even if it takes drastic action. The threat to society justifies it. It says, here's the point here. It says, from X to Facebook, TikTok to Snapchat and Telegram, these sites are spewing hatred into our society. So what does this mean? Famine of the word, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because remember, social media was the main problem for these devils. Why? Because they couldn't control what was being put out there. They couldn't control the narrative. When news gets out on social media, it travels fast. Esau doesn't have a control over that, so they have to get rid of all these apps, the social medias, everything, man. This is why we talk about often about the laws and legislations that have been put in place for you to not speak out. It says, and I'll read it and I'll pass it to you. This is reading in the first paragraph here. Excuse me. It says, we are living through the last phase of the Wild West of social media, right? Read between the lines. We are living through the last phase of the Wild West of social media. In the same way we look back on giving cigarettes to children, we will look back on the current lack of regulation of social media as a huge and disastrous social experiment. See? It says, and you can grab a scripture or speak after I read this part right here, but it says, and we are already paying the price for this experiment. Teenagers who are increasingly anxious or suicidal after spending all their time online, seeing how their idolized future friends' lives look on Instagram or Facebook compared to the reality of their own. The spurring on of an anti-Muslim, racist, and fascist attacks on the streets of our country based on active disinformation. The fact that the Russian state has a whole, quote, troll factories of intelligence officers working to spread fear, hatred, and division in our society via social media should tell us all what we need to know about the potency of the threat and our perceived vulnerability to it. See? All on social media. They're blaming social media. They're blaming the internet, these platforms, right? You got it, Akim.
Yeah, I wanted to add right quick as well in that latter point where it tried to tie in, because that's what they always try to do with this propaganda. They'll try and, somehow bottleneck, Muslims and Russia, into this problem. But here it is. Esau's system, he does these same things to you, man. Okay? It's documented that the intelligence agencies have came against its own citizens, right? But I just wanted to give a quick precept touching on that famine of the word.
Yep.
As we always get, Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. Okay? Because there's so much confusion that's going on in the world right now. There's so much sedition, and people don't really have an understanding of what's really happening.
Right.
Yep.
If I can answer you real quick, because as you were speaking on as an article, there's a media blackout in these different countries, such as where all these different uproars are happening. They're blacking out the media to where Instagram, Twitter, all these different platforms that normally speak out on what's going on. They're abandoning it because they don't want the outside world pretty much being an influence and letting them know what's going on, man.
Case in point, when you had the October 7th incident occur with Israel and Hamas, you had on the Snapchat app. On the Snapchat app, you could scroll over to the exact point in that region, and you could click on it. And you just seeing bodies on the floor.
Damn.
You seeing explosions and shit. And that access it's not as open as it once was. Right. And it's only going to continue to get further and further controlled, man. Okay. Yeah. Because as Zaquan has highlighted on the screen, these sites are spewing hatred into our society. What's really happening is it's exposing the society.
Exactly.
Okay. And that's seen as hate toward Esau. because it's showing the inner workings of his system, and it's showing that he ain't right, man. He's an unjust king.
Mm-hmm.
And you had websites like Al Jazeera have their offices raided by Israeli forces, right, during the October 7th, and even what's going on over there right now in regards to Hamas.
Hey, you had RT News, for a long time was giving the scoop on what's going on, throughout the world, and America banned them to where you can't even really get much access to them anymore.
Yes, that's it. So the point is what? Social media is the threat to society. That's the narrative that's pushed. So if you can get Amos 8 and 11 and 12, let's get that real quick.
Read it. Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh.
Yep.
Speaking of the famine of the word. Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it.
Time's running out. All right. So you're seeing it. Everything that's being presented to you here, you're clearly seeing prophecy speak. All right. The main avenue of this, the main avenue for this word to be pushed was through the internet. All right. The World Wide Web.
Right.
All right. So once these things begin to be taken away, and they try to give you jail time, they find whatever it is that they're coming with. That's it. You're not gonna have the access to the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua as freely as you do right now. That's the point. These things are being used to set all of this up. Right? You got any more in there?
I got a precept to add to that.
Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 5, verse 9. And salt water shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber.
Boom.
Because at the end of the day, man, this knowledge is accessible for the time being, but as Yahweh Shema Shai is moving things along, we're going to get to a point to where he's going to withdraw this the access to this with knowledge and understanding, to where if you ain't got it in that day, you're going to be lost out here, man.
That's it, man. That's it. All right. And just to further add on, right? Confusion is all over this bitch. All right. Here's another one real quick. All right. So this came out on August 6th, which was yesterday. It says the rising fear of American Christians. Why are churches arming themselves? All right. The Christian church is fucking finished. Right. And the spirit of the Lord ain't in those churches. And I just want to read this real quick because the church is done. If you still in the church, you out of there. All right. So this is just reading in this article here, because this all adds into what the division, all right, the confusion, so on and so forth. So it says attacks on places of worship are nothing new, and are a very real consideration for even the most pacific flock. Historically, there have been associated with hate crimes against Black Protestant congregations, primarily in the Deep South, as opposed to wealthy, predominantly white Catholic congregations, such as Chesterfield. But as the proportion of Americans who identify as white Christian dwindles, they are feeling increasingly under threat. So not only they're feeling the threats, but it says white Christians are dwindling, right? The truth is out here.
There's been an uptick of videos I've been seeing as of late, to where you're having these Edomites have these rallies and talking about, the white Christians need to white American Christians need to come together, because they're few far between now. So they need to pretty much come together in unity to take back the country, man.
Facts. Let's read some more. That picture is funny, man. Let's read some more. One more paragraph here. So it says, Salakia. Let me go back. So it says, let me find my place. So it says, this is born out in a report on violence against churches in the U.S., published earlier this year by the evangelical group, the Family Research Council. It declares that, quote, hostility against American churches is not only on the rise, but also accelerating, right? Churches ain't going to save you, man.
Nope.
All right. Speaking to you Israelites, you Jakes. Okay. The church is the last place you want to be right now, man, especially in recent, right? It says, the scripture said the Lord dwelleth not in temples made with hands. He's not in them churches, man.
Right. That's why in the movie they show you like the Purge and I forgot the other one. You know, Jake tried to go hide in the church and the motherfuckers went in there and shot him up, man.
Come on, man. It says identifying some 436 incidents against churches in 2023, more than double the number in 2022, according to the records, and more than 8 times the number in 2018. It warned that these are, quote, destructive and have the potential to intimidate a religious community. It says the fear is an understandable one. Unfortunately, though the Family Research Council is far from impartial or authoritative source, controversially designated a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center in 2010 for its hostility to LGBT issues. The council conceded in its report that, quote, the motivations for many of these incidents remain unknown. However, and really it's the judgment of the Lord.
That's right.
It says, however, it believes that the, quote, the rise in crimes against churches is taking place in a context which American culture appears increasingly hostile to Christianity, right? Because we live in an anti-Messiah society, all right? So anything that has to do with the scriptures is getting ready to be deemed as a threat, as a problem, all right? Which we see these things coming into fruition now, all right? So once again, man, this place is on the fucking ropes, right? Which brings me to this before we wrap it all up here, all right? But we've been speaking about this all week. Israel-Iran war is imminent as U.S. appears poised to get involved, all right? And we understand the least of the flock shall draw them out. So once America gets involved in the scuffle between Israel and Iran, hey, it's all she wrote, World War III.
Yeah.
Okay? We're here. Go ahead. You got it.
I said that's literally happening right now because you had a meeting that took place. Pull it up real quick, where it said that America meets with Israel, Russia meets with Iran as we teeter on the brink of war.
Boom.
So we here.
Right. And if we here at this stage, then how much closer are we to the MOTB?
Man,
that has to be first before World War III officially.
Yes. That's how you know we close.
Yeah.
Right? They gotta get rid of the money. We keep telling you this. They gotta hurry up and do away with this shit, man.
Because I want to say real quick, because that's how we know that war is coming. Because war, bank rewards, man. All right. Every time that it's like you mentioned earlier, a recession going into a depression, it's a war that breaks out after that, man.
Right. Because what's heavy about the times that we're in right now, the parallels is always tied to 08 or 1929 and the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I got that, real matter of fact. Mm-hmm. It says history shows that war always follows recession, and given the somber geopolitical situation across the globe, some economists and analysts feel that the world may well be headed in this direction. After the 1797 economic deflation, there was war between U.S. and France between 1798 to 1800. The war between the U.S. and Great Britain in 1812 followed the Depression in 1807 through 1808. The Long Depression of 1873 through 1879 paved the way for war between U.S. and Spain, and the First World War, which lasted until 1918. After the First World War, 1918 through 1921, the Great Depression, Herbert Hoover attempted to maintain labor rates, causing massive unemployment. The economy stagnated with labor rates failing to adjust. The Second World War was followed by the Great Depression of 1929 through 1939. The early 1990s recession again put the U.S. on the war front against Iraq. History shows that most of the wars have followed the economic crisis. There are very few occasions when the world faced slowdown or recession after the wars. So the timeline points to the same pattern, man.
That's it. Now that's it. We ain't got to hit the scriptures on it. You know, we've been going through them all week. You know, it's here. I mean, what more can we say in this past hour and some change?
Right.
These things are at the door. It's even at the door. Is the war between Israel and Iran, America getting involved, and Russia and all the other nations getting involved. All right, the MOTB system is being pressed. All right, cashless society, digital currency. All right, Esau seeing this kingdom being destroyed from within. All right, the division, the political divide. All right, this so-called election has the world on edge. Here we are. All right, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, so hey, you brothers got it. I ain't got nothing else. I just, you know, it's just news and prophecy, man. It's like right here, direct in your face, man. You know.
Hey, buckle up.
Hey, buckle up. That's it. The great point. Buckle up. You know, you brothers got anything else?
Wow.
Yeah, that's it, man. So news and prophecy, man, is getting ready to go down. U.S. sends message warning Iran not to escalate conflict in Middle East. Trump, we're going to save Israel. Finish out of there. All right. You see this the controversy surrounding him, speaking about him being potentially unalived. You know, the election are not happening. Who knows, man? You know, I did the lesson on this yesterday. The resistant axis that's coming after the Amalekites. You know, Esau's pretty much on the on his deathbed, so to speak, man. You know, the brink of his destruction. You know, so you know we're in a time, the veil would be uncovered. You know, the lies and deceit would be quenched. People understand that these people are not the biblical Israelites. They're not the descendants of Jacob. You know, so it's pretty much a wrap, man. So Lord willing, man, the whole the whole world is on fire, man. But we're gonna see it take off to that next level, man. So
That's right.
that's pretty much it, man. You know, not to talk y'all head off. You know, it's just news and prophecy, division, cataclysmic events, which we showed you, which is going to lead to the to that great disaster, that great destruction. Their hegemony is in shambles, right?
That's right.
So we'll leave it like that. We pray that you were edified and informed through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Wadash. And we'll close it out by giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. All right, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom. And we are out of here.
Yes, sir.